Going into Cologne, no one had any hopes in Mongolz. They come from the region most would call the weakest region in CSGO right now. They do not have any stars that are known to the EU and NA communities, and overall as a team should not be able to get far. So when they qualified for groups and met Heroic, we also saw a different story and how Mongolz almost pulled off the impossible against Heroic and created a massive controversy on the way. We're jumping into the pistol, and let's start with the buy. Heroic have went for 3 nades, but in a fun way, where Shush buys all the nades and then drop most of them, and it's the reason he don't have armor, while the rest have. But we are missing something from Heroic, and that's a kit. If we can see how they are set up, they have a very hard setup for A side to hold, with 1 player CT and 1 player under. As we know, if the CT players die or get smoked off, the player under is doomed. So it's very weird Heroic did not buy a kit for this round. While the rest of Heroic are playing a very default setup with 1 player in mid window and 2 players on B. Mongolz on the other hand are going fast and have sent all players towards A site. And this makes sense, since usually the CT plays a setup where they want to retake A, and if you as the T is fast and wins your fight, your chance of winning the round is even bigger. So how do you do this? You have to get out fast. And here we see Mongolz go for 3 players Palace and the last 2 in ramp. But they don't just rush out for no reason. Well, the Palace players and ramp players shift walk to not alert Heroic, as well as the Palace players are not starting to run before the ramp players are ready to swing with them. And it's perfectly played. Since Shoes have decided to hold towards ramp, the ramp push. This will allow Mongolz to pop out of Palace without any problem, since Heroic window player is still holding mid, and Mongolz get lucky here. Mongolz swings out Palace and gets a nice 1-for-1 trade, and Shoes smokes himself off CT and Mongolz have gotten sight. But they're not stopping here, since if you plant and get stuck on site, Heroic will box you in and win the round. So Mongolz uses their site control to pick fights against Heroic, and it all starts with jungle. Since none of the players smoked it, they can just take this fight, and Stavn is the first target. Stavn left mid when he realized that his teammate lost sight, but he was not ready for 2 players to swing him and lost, and Mongolz wins the first round.
Making this as hard as possible. Hatchecker holding down 2 jobs. Headshot for Yabi down to 7 HP. And it gets even more difficult. Shush last one to fall. Mongolz start off with the pistol round on the T side.
We're going into round 4, and here Mongolz have had an amazing start to the game so far, with 3-0 lead. But Heroic can finally buy, and it's around this point most wrote off Mongolz, a top 30 team versus the #1 ranked team in the world. But Mongol knows this, and they've decided to go for a B and mid take, since the dynamic of these parts of the map can work very well for the Ts. If you kill the mid player, it's usually a B player that rotates towards mid to take up the positions of the teammate that just died in mid, and this leaves B more vulnerable. So Mongolz starts with having 1 player smoke window and then 1 player smoking short, then sending 3 players top mid and 2 towards B site. Heroic on the other side have put a lot of focus in mid by sending 3 players mid with 1 player window, 1 jumping to underground, and the last going connector with this one-way smoke. And I have to mention it. This one-way smoke is bad. Please stop using it. If an AK holds you, it can work, but if an AWP holds you, it's useless, so please stop. But to eat my own words, Chubby gets a 1-for-1 kill from the one-way. But as we know, a 1-for-1 trade usually favors the T side, and we can all see how Mongolz react to the trade. They kinda put on the brakes, with 2 in mid and 2 in B, to wait and see how Heroic reacts. And with no reaction from Heroic, other than Heroic have gotten 2A, 1 mid and 1 B, Mongolz know they have to do something. And it all starts with a full mid take, with a con and window smoke, and then having 1 player push to take bottom mid, and a better positions, while the last mid player is running back to apps. The apps player are waiting in these positions to not get spotted, as well as not be hit by nades, molotov and other stuff, since nades either hits you here or here, and they just patiently waits for the AWPer to link up in apps. Mongolz decides to go for a play we all call contact. This means to not make any sound and just walk out to surprise the enemy, and as soon as the enemy sees you, you will have to run out and then use your utility. So when they walk across window, it looks dumb, but KDN have a crucial miss, and this activates the contact play. Here Tessa's on car gets a first kill, but he's molotov rather quick by Mongolz. But no one watched for Blitz, who have pushed from mid, since he used the timing of KDN's miss and Tessa's kill to get a better position on short and towards B, since Heroic would not send 2 last players towards mid before they knew where Mongolz would go. And he used this knowledge to perfect. And here he wins the round by solo killing both KD and Tessas to allow his teammate to take sight.
By KD now, he focuses on the balcony. Tessas holding down 2 jobs, has bought time for his team to rotate. Shush is on the way. And he will need to get there quickly because Cadian and Testas have been deleted by Blitz. Oh my days. Blitz is coming into this one quickly. 6-0.
Mongolz have read Heroic perfect, and this is the strength of understanding your enemy and the psychology of the caller. Let me explain. Bring out the whiteboard. When a caller in his flow state are winning rounds, you know as the opponent, he will call crazy and it will work, and the best you can do is to either play default or emphasize on just winning rounds. Or you can try something new, like an aggressive play or a new focus on the map. And as a caller, you have to understand when this will happen. And as Mongolz know, Heroic love aggressive early AWP plays on CT side when they need to do something new if they're struggling. And here look at Mongolz setup. They have gone 2 players B apps, 1 player mid and 1 player on A, while the last player is a rotator from mid to B after he helps the mid player with flashes. But Mongolz stops here and wait for Cadian's push. Here they hit the jackpot and kills Cadian. And since they are so far back, Testas can't trade Cadian back and Heroic just gives up a player for no trades. Heroic setup this round was 3 players on B, where Jabby would fast boost the 2 other B players into apps for this play to even have a chance to work. Then 1 player on A in a very aggressive position and last player in mid window. After the kill in B and Molotov in window, Heroic mid player is forced to leave window, and here Mongol uses this information to take bottom mid fast and perfect. And Hassatek finds the second kill of the round with no trades back. And the rest of the round is slow. Shoes could have won it with the flank, but nothing more interesting than that, and Mongolz takes a lead 5-0.
Starting to spot out that A is a little clearer than you'd normally expect.
36 seconds. And Heroic don't really have the utility to slow these players down. The patience from 9-10. Claims another soul. Securing jungle. They've got angles on short as well. Potential upgrade for Shush as the bomb will be planted.
Round 11 is some crazy fast CSGO, and I love this. But first, let's talk about the setup and the brilliancy from both teams. Mongolz started with 1 player fast in mid and 3 players fast in apps, and last in ramp. While Heroic have gone for a very default setup, but plays Shush under Palace as a surprise position for this hold. But let's focus on mid. Here Mongolz smokes window, and this allows Blitz to use the smoke Heroic throws against them in con. Since usually Heroic will use this lower smoke to peek top mid, or to peek underground, but there's a big flaw to this, and that's all the room you leave for a catwalk player to look into A site, and when Stavn pushes the smoke, he is allowing Blitz to take the 1v1 against Cadian, and this removes 2 things from Heroic. First, it removes the player holding ramp, and second, it removes Stavn's ability to help on A site. So this 1 kill and play just opened up site for Mongolz. But now we focus on Shush, who have climbed up on Palace. This should be a bad play, but it works perfect, and here we have to ask why. Well, when you run out of a smoke, you have to look at only where the enemy can be. So to look at Shoes on top Palace does not make sense, since CT, site, stairs and jungle are more likely to have players. So that's where Mongolz are focusing, and this works perfect for Shoes. But it's not done yet. Since Mongolz had 4 players towards A, after Heroic kills 3, they are assuming that the last 2 are mid. And this makes sense since Mongolz have shown Heroic 1 player mid already, and that's what Heroic mind goes to. And this allows 9-10 to swing out and kill 2 players, on 2 players not even looking. But Blitz can't win the 1v2, and Heroic takes the first round.
Gonna be Blitz straight up mid, that's an immediate headshot. What is the response from Heroic?
Oh, Shush.
Oh no.
They're out. Be in some trouble. What? Okay then, there's still a 3rd man to contest with. Able to deliver on the ramp. Where's the man lost in the smoke? What's happening? 9-10 gets there eventually, but with 2.
I wanted to dedicate the outro to give you my 2 cents of the controversy. I think Trash Talk have a core place in esport, and I would of course say this when my first ever pro game and trying to go pro was COD, which is known for its trash talk. But don't take it too far, never get personal, and understand who you are trash talking. I don't think Cadian did anything wrong, and that's my 2 cents. If you want to see more, check out these 2 videos YouTube told me you would love.